Well, welcome back, surf fans. We are down to the wire, that much closer to crowning a champion here at the 2018 Tahiti Pro Teahupo'o. Chris Cote here with Pete Mel. In the lineup, we've got Filipe Toledo and Owen Wright, the classic goofy versus regular matchup. Your current Jeep ratings leader in Filipe Toledo wearing that yellow jersey. He's got to answer big to Owen Wright, who's been putting up some huge numbers on the day already. Give us the tale of the tape, Pete. Who you got in this heat?
Well, you'd have to say, just by performance throughout the event, they're both pretty much at top-notch form. But I would have to favor this man right now, just in being on his forehand.
Starting off with some clean slices. A medium-sized set wave, so getting things rolling early. Owen Wright making his way all the way through the inside. And a seemingly easy finish on that wave, but can be pretty lethal over that dry reef section. So Owen Wright, a nice foursome of turns from the outside all the way to the inside. So a great way to start this heat. 35 minutes on the clock. Who will be our finalist out of this heat?
I guess we'll find out in about 31 minutes. But I would say, like I said, the forehand seems to be favoring conditions today. And also the fact that Owen has been able to string together some very strong maneuvers. You know, this wave here, not going to be a gigantic score, but it's a start against Filipe to start applying pressure towards him. Filipe also got a wave behind this, and it looked like to be a pretty good opportunity because there hasn't been a lot of set waves back to back. It's been kind of like one solid good wave, but unfortunately there for Filipe, no capitalization, and he's right back out with priority.
And here he goes again, backing up his first wave, which was a 4-6. So the judges giving out some big numbers for the turn combo right there, blasting that tail. Big layback snap to open up on that wave. So nice two-turn combination for Owen. Loved the look of that first turn.
Wow, and I love the look of his strategy against Filipe, right? It's not, he's not going to sit out there. He knows how important it is to be on the two best waves. But against Filipe, I think applying pressure early is smart, you know, and I think that that's exactly what he's thinking. He's going out there and going, oh, you know what? I've got some pretty strong turns. I'm not going to sacrifice waiting too long for a wave. I'm going to get started early, apply some pressure. So right now he has done that, put up a 4-5, a 3-5.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. So Felipe's up the back playing the patience game. And Owen on the inside, starting off a wave like this.
It's a much smaller wave, but that was a very strong layback gaff. He also got loose in the lip where he drifts the fins, so very committed. Just the second turn, not, you know, a nice combination of moves, but, you know, the second maneuver obviously not as strong. A lot of the energy was released in that very first laceration of the lip.
The better waves in that heat, he found barrels, got the win over Kolohe and Dino. And speaking of finding barrels, Owen Wright keeps finding these little gems from underneath Toledo's priority, and you hear the growing flotilla go wild for an absolutely perfect little nugget of a wave. I mean, just a chest-high, perfect left-hand barrel.
And he just slotted himself in there. He's got a little understanding of the lineup. You know, he sees the waves, he sees those ones that are going to gift him little smaller opportunities. Like you see on the reef from behind it, that's the forehand. You're able to kind of get those quick weaves, get the speed carried up through the barrel. Didn't get even touched. But I mean, obviously, being that that's a much smaller wave, set wave, it's going to suppress the score because of that. But again, maximizing all of the potential of that score and again, building pressure against Filipe.
And I really love the casual confidence that Kolohe has expressed in his last couple of heats, but during that interview, a few gems came through the lineup, Pete.
So true, and that was a golden opportunity, I feel like, for Filipe for the back end. He was able to slot himself and surf slow through it, where in contrast, this was a perfect forehand wave because he had to kind of push through all that foam, and he stays through it, true to it, and he's got that edge locked in, so he comes out of the front of it, even though it did kind of close down, and then the maneuvers at the end. So I feel like great exchange here, again, going Owen's way. Although right now, again, the shift will be Filipe going to be holding priority. So a majority of this heat already has been Filipe holding on to that priority, but he's only got a pair of ones. So again, just the forehand allowing him to stay high, kind of drive through it. He did come out the side a little bit, so the barrel not going to be a big number. But the maneuvers to back it all the way up, probably going to get into the good range.
And look at this right here, another little nugget for Toledo. Let's see what he's got under his sleeve. And we can get right up into the lip, bangs it up at the top. Tough go right there as the fins flew out the back. I wanted to talk to Pete about equipment. So Toledo's out there, he's riding a board that he rode on that big swell.
Especially when you can move forward on your backhand and get all of your weight over the top of the foam.
Owen Wright locking into a tight barrel. It's a little too tight. Gets eaten. And he'll go down. And now Toledo. Strider set it right there. A little bit more consistency with these sets. It's Toledo whipping it on his backside, up into the lip, another vertical snap. So having to rely on turns on that wave, not being able to find the barrel on the takeoff, which has been a big difference score-wise with Owen Wright getting 6.67 on his last wave. You got Toledo milking that wave all the way onto the dry reef.
Good answer for Filipe here. This is still a powerful wave. You're on a reef. It's open ocean. It's going to feel strong, you know, so you can ride a board that's going to be, say, a little bit stiff and smaller surf. But I mean, look at the wave just pivot around the tail. I mean, that's the type of surfing that he's been doing all event long with maneuvers. So I would never change it. I would say, hey, this thing works super well. Plus, if he does get that nice wave that's going to give, you know, that they're out there, that he's going to be able to handle the barrel and have the speed to get through it. Everything about that looks good for me. Filipe, good, like I said, good wave here to get him back in this heat.
Welcome back to the Tahiti Pro Chopo. We've got Owen Wright versus Filipe Toledo with 14 minutes to go. There you see Filipe paddling back out. He's been throwing himself onto that inside dry reef section, doing anything he can to get this win over Owen Wright by any means necessary. Here we go, Filipe Toledo on his backhand.
So Owen had priority, did not look at this wave at all, and look at that set wave behind it, but Filipe doing well with maneuvers, once again, on a wave that solely called for that. This isn't going to be a number that's going to put him anywhere near the lead, so he's going to have to start kind of utilizing that priority now. He's got the backup score. At this point now, he's got to find himself on one of the better set waves to match the 6.67 of Owen Wright.
Can't do it in waves of consequence, but, you know, that is pretty much the dream scenario for Toledo as he goes to the backside air. Kind of an ollie right taking off under the lip there.
Well, we've seen airs like that already, not today, but so the scale changes each and every day, but it felt like those are going to be probably in that mid 4 to 5 range. So again, not going to change much. And if he gets anything above a 4.73, he's going to lower the needed score for his second ride. And you know, my feeling here is that again, it's like, okay, maybe that wave did have an opportunity to go a bit bigger. And you can hear the whistles as Dad's there online. You hear that full on. That's a very distinct whistle from Pops.
Just has that threatening feel when he enters the lineup. And here's Toledo again, trying to do better than a mid-range score. This wave kind of spinning off down the reef.
How quick is he in transition?
Just a quick finish. And that wave was about 15 seconds after that previous wave, so he got right back into the action.
Being that 4.73 is his low number, or sorry, his high number now, it will become his second ride after this, but a shreddable little wave, and underneath, straight up attack of the lip, the glide floater, so good variety, and then straight back into a final move right before the rocks. So
I'm not, does he think that's the 6?
He keeps moving through the ranks.
And here he goes again. Slamming that lip. This is where he's dangerous, producing scores, but he goes down. And he could be getting a front row seat to a potential Owen Wright set wave. Some urgency in Filipe's act as he gets back on his board, paddling back out. And I agree with the sentiments shown on that boat. This is living. Tahiti showing its glory and beauty as Owen Wright tucks into a quick tube. Carves back into the white water. Looking for a big finish here on the inside. Throwing caution to the wind. Quick snap float combo over that dry reef section. He'll get back out there, but now we've got Toledo out the back with priority. His last score comes through at 2.10. He's got 6 minutes and 40 seconds to go. Now he has his choice of waves, and I hear whistles from the channel. We could have a big finish here from Toledo. But Owen Wright adding to the numbers. He's trying to get rid of a 4.93.
So we did see the nose of his board throughout that entire barrel, so that'll factor in. Not going to be one of those deep ones we saw from his quarterfinal. The cutback, he wasn't able to get kind of out of that white water very quickly, so flow affected there. You know, pretty solid finish, but I don't see this going too high.
I think he's
That's
only
right now, there's a difference.
He's only had one set wave, I think, in this entire heat. Here we go, Owen Wright on a potential grower. Owen's going to go to the air. throws that one away. 4:30 to go. Owen Wright without priority, taking off underneath Filipe Toledo. Score comes through for Owen Wright, a 5.93, so that extends Owen Wright's lead. Now Filipe Toledo needs a 7.30. So with priority, Toledo now fully activating on this wave. Late drop, straight into the tube. It's a messy barrel, and it just collapses around Toledo, along with any hopes for Toledo to get that big score, needing a 7.30. And that's what this heat has been all about. It's been about Owen Wright finding the best waves and surfing them perfectly. And there you see, love that show of sportsmanship. So, Owen Wright, one of the most dominant competitors here at Tahiti in the past decade, gets the win over Jeep ratings leader Filipe Toledo.